uh, Comrade Aremu, for continuing to provide leadership and the civil society realm. Now in Nigeria, we have civil society and there's also evil society. Yes, and when you're talking about evil society, you're talking about those who use the civil society to leverage their way to power. I also want to thank a particular woman who came here today to be with us, who is a member of our organization, TIB. Her name is Esther Oluide. She had to work on the thing. Yes. Thank you very much. When I was entering Ibadan from Lagos this morning, somebody posted something on Facebook. He said, assuming Agoye Rosie did not abolish regionalism through Decree 34, the Western region would have developed and everywhere would be like Dubai. I replied to him that it is not regionalism that stunted the growth of Western region but leadership. You can imagine, as I'm talking to you, Oyo State has two governors. The governor of Ondo State is based in Oyo State, and the governor of Oyo State is based in Oyo State. Yes! Oyo has not turned into Dubai. Are you hearing me? Because this is the state of Shiyoyo, right? The governor of Oyo State. So you can have, it is not policies alone that make countries work. It is people, sound people. And that was the reason why you found out that when they heard that we were coming here today, the entire university went into panic mode. Like, I couldn't believe it. It started from the gate, somebody greeting us in an unusual way, the security. Before you knew it, our police from Osun had been commanded to stop at the gate until we showed up there. And that will take me to Ashiru, who spoke here. David Ashiru, we graduated together at the University of Lagos. And we did something that we used to do at the University of Lagos. So they belong to a group of students we call the Gates Battalion. They lock the university gate when there's going to be protest. And today we're back at the University of Ibadan gate. And I was asking, I hope they're not going to lock this gate. So, the university please give themselves, and our colleagues are here from Osun State. Please give yourselves a round of applause. I want to make some clarification. I'm not going to say anything that I've said today. And one of it is to clarify that we keep saying that the political class is well organized. They're not well organized at all. It is us who keep thinking they are well organized. And this is part of the myth that they use to defeat us a lot of times. Ask yourself, if somebody is well organized, how come he cannot properly fill his INEC form for presidency? Yes. Like you put the appropriate primary school, he puts nothing there. Secondary school, nothing. University, the university attendance is different from the certificate he attached. Is that person organized? No. There's nobody organized amongst the political class to the point that we keep repeating it. We keep kind of lionizing lazy people. The political class in Nigeria are the laziest political class in the world. To the point that even their imperialist or imperialist leaders or friends cannot work with them. They prefer to go to Ghana to import yam to the US for the diaspora than to come to Nigeria because Nigerian political class cannot export yam. You cannot find out anywhere. Are those kind of political class organized? No. You just have a bunch of criminals that have hijacked and captured your state, your country. That is what you have, and they are using security agencies amongst us to suppress us. That is the problem. I have done it all, as you know. I was a student leader in this country. I was a publisher of a major news online platform. I was a political leader. I established my own or our own political party. And I can tell you that having been everywhere amongst them, these guys have nothing upstairs. Nothing. And we keep saying that they're organized. We keep saying, is this organized? Does this country look like an unorganized country? If there are countries that are run by criminals in Colombia, they have proper transportation system. And drug lords are also in charge of their system. I once traveled to Mexico. And when I was traveling to Mexico, I kept reading all the pamphlets about safety. thinking that Mexico is in some gangsteristic state. When I go to Los Cabos, which is in the southern part of Mexico, it's better than a lot of American states and cities. And there are gangsters in Mexico. There are cultists in Mexico. I'm sure there are Yahoo people in Mexico. Plenty of them. So don't let us keep saying that the Nigerian political class is organized. They are not. If people are organized, at least there will be hospitals they can go to when they are sick. They will protect even their own interests. Are you getting me? But what we have is a bunch of incompetent people, and this is why what Shola Michael said is very important about the security agencies. Most of you knew that I stayed with the DSS for 5 months in Abuja. And the DSS, I'm sure they are here. There's nothing they do. Yes, there's nothing they do other than watching BB Niger. Does that look like an organized? All of them are here, some are following Tasha, the other ones are following the other girl. Throughout my stay with them. And I've said it publicly. There's nothing in the DSS. There are flaws at the DSS headquarters. When you want to pass, I knew it, I found out where there's no camera. But they will plant the cameras as if things are working. We are living in a country where people are saying, oh, petrol is too expensive. We want to do what they call CNG conversion. We want to convert vehicles. A country where a university cannot provide air conditioning in the lecture hall, they want to compress gas to be using for vehicles that were using petrol before. Is it possible? Have you not been here since morning? Common air conditioner in this room, meant for maybe 200 people. The University of Ibadan cannot provide it. Watch the war between Israel and Palestine. The Gaza Strip hospitals that I watch on Al Jazeera every day is better than the university teaching hospital in Ibadan here. Go and watch them. You are looking at them and you are pitying them. Their streets, even after they bombed the whole of Gaza to Smith, the streets are still better than the streets of Lagos. I'm telling you. So why are you lionizing this bunch of people who you call leaders? The truth is that we must also be honest with ourselves. We have also lost a lot of energy. We have also lost our ways. Part of how you know that there is confusion in the country, like a colleague just mentioned briefly, is for a Labour Party to be without workers in an election. Labour Party. There's no worker in the Labour Party. For Labour Party not to discuss minimum wage in a national election. Labour Party has no minimum wage. The only party that had a minimum wage was our party. Take it back. And when we recommended in 2019 that we'll be paying 100,000. Facebook economists, some of them in this university, say that it will cause inflation. You understand? When I was asked in 2022 what would be my minimum wage, I said it has gone to 250,000. I didn't even know that the Naira will go down the toilet. They said Showore has come again, he's mad. But this is 2023. The people who told you that paying minimum wage will cause inflation are buying SUVs for 160 million for 400 people. Are you getting my point? And they can trust that because they have so much destroyed your intellectual capacity, you too will defend it. Because so many of these problems we have come from us, the kind of simple conversations that we cannot even hold, even on social media platforms. Anybody today can hijack a social media platform to make it do what you will never do. Students in Nigerian universities who could not fight against school fees increments, who could not fight against the government when ASU went on strike, they are fighting for Mohbad. Yes, there's no university in the Southwest that did not organize a protest for Mohbad. As much as I love Mohbad, because I love his music, I wish that the students, when they were done with Mohbad, would fight for themselves. Fight to put air conditioners in your classrooms. I could not use the toilet here. When I live here, I have to go to hospital because I peed in the bathroom right across from here. It's so terrible. You enter another place to get out, you'll be sick. Microbes will fill your system. This is 2023 University of Ibadan. The University of Lagos is not different. The Obafemi Awolowo University in Ile-Ife is not different. The university in Zaire is not different. The only thing that I've seen left in our universities since I came to university in 1989 are the trees that were planted. And I'm sure that if the government found a way that trees are still here, or they might aid any form of democratic struggle, they will uproot all the trees. That's how bad our situation is. And I said, look, all of us can do conferences as many times as we do. I got to the point, and a lot of our comrades know that no, I won't be attending symposium anymore. Because when we attend to this symposium, it's like we are speaking to ourselves things we already know. It's like we are all in an echo chamber, just chanting and hearing our voice over and over again. But it's also important that whenever we meet, that we can bring in a few more people, especially young people. Maybe one person can become conscious enough to take the battle better than we could. Because I wasn't the radical I was until I met Femi Falana at the University of Lagos around 1992. And he has been unlucky ever since then because he has defended me since 1992 till now. Has never been paid a dime for his services, pro bono. But what I'm trying to say was that the similar thing that happened to us today happened to Femi Falana when we first met him. He came with an Ultima car. I don't know if Comrade Aremu is here. That was the car Falana was driving in those days. And he went and deflated his tires. That was what got us upset. We didn't want to attend the event, but when we heard that somebody came to campus and deflated his tires, we said, who is the person? And Falana came, took the microphone. As you know him, he said, people should not worry about the deflation of his tire. That his name is Falana, Femi Falana, Falana Botier, Tarayani Lango. That was it. For me, I was like, this guy, his sense of humor, his ability to communicate, is someone I follow. And that was how we became apostles of the struggle. And I hope that some of you young people who are here, who haven't caught the consciousness, will do so, especially also those who are online. Because sometimes, we keep hearing, oh, young Nigerians. And young Nigerians forget that you are not going to be perpetually young. If you call Mr. Oloriyomi Sola Mike now, you look at it twice, he doesn't know that when he was Sola Mike, he was a young, sexy guy. Yes, he's still sexy now, but older. Because he will not be perpetually young. So you better fight for your future and secure it now. And there's nobody, and I'll tell you this is the first time that Nigeria, well, maybe this is not the first time, under military rule, probably have. This is the first time that the leadership of Nigeria at all levels are people who have conquered criminality. They conquered the state, they conquered the judiciary, they have conquered everything. Tinubu, you know his story. Akpabio, you know his story. Ganduje, the man who was stuffing dollars, is the party leader. So there's nothing left in terms of morality. And they're not afraid of you. And forget about all these guys who keep telling tales by moonlight anytime they're out of power. Amici, he suddenly discovered that Nigerian leaders are bad. When you were doing railway and taking money and using money that should be built railway in Nigeria to go and put a railway in Marais, a country that doesn't have anything to do with us. That time we didn't know. When you carry the transportation university from the place where there's transportation to the place where there's no transportation in Buhari's hometown, that time you didn't know. Or the Supreme Court man that retired yesterday and suddenly became an activist. Yes, he suddenly found out that the constitution of the Supreme Court, panel that determined it wasn't proper. What happened to the day before they gave their judgments? You had already retired. So, but this is part of the game. It's to keep fooling you, and in fooling you, they continue to create content that distracts you. Let me say one, last few things. You see, to be honest with ourselves, if we are ready to liberate this country, we don't need lectures. I'm telling you, just get a few guns and strategically place yourself. In 4 days, they will be calling for a meeting outside the country to resolve the differences they have with you. Like they are doing with the Niger Delta militants, bandits. So if we are still talking, it's because we have not taken the extreme measures yet. If you take extreme measures, nobody needs all these lectures, nobody needs it. That time, if the rebel leader drops a voice note, all of you will find data to listen to it because your survival depends on it. Those of us who are still doing this are the most civilized, civil, I won't say civilized, amongst us. The second aspect of it, which is very, very important, is that you are not going to take Nigeria back on the back of the system they have in place now. You are not going to take Nigeria back with an election. It's not happening because right now, the next set of people that will win the next election were selected 3 days ago. And some of them are people who rig elections at the state. You know, the worst election rigging machines are the state electoral commissions in Nigeria. Let me also spoil your evening that the next set of Supreme Court justices, because already they are saying that 10 is not enough, will be selected by Tinubu. So imagine with Tinubu selected, appointed Supreme Court justices, his own permanent electoral commission, how you are going to win even councillorship election. And when you don't win, they will ask you to go to court. Go and ask in Abuja. All the new judges that were recently selected to be in the FCT High Court were relatives of former judges or their children or wives or their girlfriends. So, I'm sorry to say, you are screwed. Yes. Except you dig yourself out of this hole. And I'm not afraid to say it, and I'll repeat it any day, anywhere, anyhow, that except there's a revolution, Nigeria cannot be liberated on the platform of, if you like, you can hand me, let me just finish. If you like, you can hand me 20 microphones. They are tone deaf. They don't listen to this anymore. And the security agents are there to do their bidding, even when they haven't paid them their salaries. I have a bunch of policemen who talk to me as they're senior police officers. Anytime they don't pay their allowances, they call me. 3 days ago, one of them called me and said, Mr. Joe, they haven't paid our allowances again. No. I said, they haven't. They said, yes, this new IG hasn't paid our allowances. He listed all the allowances, plenty of them. I said, okay, that's very good. What do? We need Sahara to blow it up. It's okay. Sahara can blow it up, but if people go out to fight for you to get your allowances, you are the stupid people that will shoot them. Yes. And the excuse will be the same. We are just doing our job. It's order from above. So, if the order from above is not to pay your allowances, the order from above is also telling me not to report it. You know, so our boss are talking to us. But I don't want to reduce this matter to something too funny. It is just to give you how dire our situation is. I've been repeating it severally, that in the history of this country, the last leader is always better than the new one. Yes. I won't be surprised if people start apologizing to Buhari, yes, from the end of this year. And you might be surprised that the University of Ibadan might invite Buhari to come and be giving speeches here to talk about how he ran a fantastic economy during his tenure, where the naira was stable, and how he was protecting the interests of Nigeria. In fact, he might be lucky they might name a hall after him. That's if they don't even name the university after him. That is where we are. And that's what I want you to ponder on as young people. One last thing I wanted to correct is this idea that the people who are living in the country are young. Everybody's living. Old, young, you know, people who can walk, carry people who cannot walk. Everybody is living. And there's no longer limitation to where Nigerians are going to. If you get to a point where Nigerians are moving to Ukraine, you know you are in trouble. This is not a joke. I don't know if you guys knew that we're just trying to save a young lady from Iraq. Because she's from Ibadan. Yes, I think she's from here, from Oyo State. She went and she's living, and her boss, she offended her boss, now they want to stone her to death or something by the end of the year. And the first thing when I was told, the message came through my Facebook Messenger. I asked the person, I don't know if I asked him, but I was surprised, is there any Nigerian in Iraq? But when the story played out, I discovered that it's not only in Iraq. There are a lot of Nigerians in Libya. Yes. They said there's a place in Tripoli where the Amala is better than the one in Ibadan. Amala's here. Because Nigerians will go to anywhere else will leave here. And I just want to leave you with this sad tales. I'm sorry, I don't have anything else to tell you. Everything right now is bad news. And all of you that are saying the darkness has not come, well, maybe it is not dark because you can't see anymore. Thank you very much.